Welcome back to the show. I'm Frank Dell'Ella. Actor Michael Zegen from The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and actress Heléne Yorke, best known for her work on The Other Two, go one-on-one in Strategic Love Play, which is now in previews at Audible's Minetta Lane Theater. I recently sat down with Michael and Heléne to chat about this show and dating in New York City. This show is a new show on our side of the pond, but it was a big hit across the pond. Now it's here. Set it up.
So we meet on an app. We're on this first date. We come at it from different perspectives, kind of maybe a typical female perspective, typical man perspective, and it sort of develops and goes from there for about 70, 75 minutes.
Everywhere.
Goes everywhere for 70 to 75 minutes.
It really encompasses life, love, relationships, everything.
Yeah.
And it's called Strategic Love Play. So explain the title.
I think it's just a reference to Miriam wrote it in such a way that it is kind of the moving of a chess piece, and you know, she's playing with him a little bit. The dynamics shift. It is the strategy of reaching a consensus of love.
That's really interesting because I didn't even put that together. The whole chess metaphor. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's how.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's a learning experience. You're coming on the show to learn more about your show today.
I'm just an idiot. I'm just some dumb actor.
That's what I've always said.
No. You mentioned Miriam, your playwright, and we also know her from the TV series Succession and Beef. The two of you are very much known in the TV world as well as the theater world. So when getting the script, did you feel like there was like this common language, you know, just kind of shorthand with just reading her text on the page? Was that?
I mean, it was so funny. It was just, I mean, that's, you know, what struck me was, you know, when you read a script and you laugh out loud, that's so rare. Mm-hmm. And I just read it and I wanted to do it immediately.
Yeah, when I read it, I didn't know that Miriam had written on Succession. I just was sent the play and I read the play and I was like, God, this is so good and so smart, and the dialogue feels like a conversation between two people, like really. And then when I looked her up, I was like, oh, of course she wrote for Succession, because I remember reading that pilot, and the way that show is set up and how they talk to each other is so, the way it scans, it's so specific.
Yeah.
Her punctuation is really specific. It makes it very difficult to learn, incidentally.
Very difficult.
A lot of weird isms within, you know, a lot of repeated actuallys or sorries or ums.
Likes.
Yeah.
And
So-
everything is so specific.
Very
Yes,
specific.
She's very precise, yeah.
It says in the stage directions that like each, you know, pause or is you know, meant to be there, and we have to follow it accordingly.
Being that this takes place on a first date, I'm just curious, in terms of first dates, tell me your worst first date.
Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. I mean, the worst ones are always the ones that we're from online, where you just kind of like know right away. And I don't know, God, back in the day, I would just be like, I guess I'm going home with him.
It was me, yeah.
What's your best tip for someone experiencing a first date?
God, the advice I always give is that I'm like, well, just take it like an opportunity to meet somebody new for the first time. And once you start to zone out, ask them questions, like play a game with yourself. It's like, you know, when you get cornered at a party, sometimes I'm like, I'm bored out of my mind. And I just sort of make a game to see like how far I can push them and how much personal information I can get. That good advice?
That's great advice. Michael, how about you?
You know, the classic, just be yourself, you know? I don't know, that always worked for me.
Do that.
Just be yourself. Is there a message behind this play? Is there something you want people to walk away with after you do it?
I sort of feel myself, I was single for a long time. I did the online dating thing.
It's hard in New York.
It's really hard. Yeah. And I think it's hard everywhere. And looking for people is really hard, and you're kind of like, how will I know and it's just exhausting. It becomes a job. And I just want women, myself, I want women to feel seen in that, mm-hmm. held in that, and, you know, be made to feel like they're not crazy, that it is tough, and, you know, that's okay.
Hang in there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Heléne pretty much summed it up, but it's 70 minutes and it's really funny, and I just want people to have a great time, and I think they will, because, yeah. I mean, we're having a great time rehearsing for it, so I can't imagine how they're going to feel.
And you can catch Michael and Heléne in Strategic Love Play, now playing at Audible's Minetta Lane Theater.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest news and weather updates every 10 minutes and more. We'll see you then.